Only about 2% of people who live in Japan were born somewhere else. But according to a new lawsuit, they get a distressingly high percentage of attention from the police. 3 men, all of them visible minorities, claim they've been singled out for questioning over and over again. They're suing for damages of about 3 million yen, or $27,000 Canadian each, arguing that racial profiling violates Japan's constitution and international treaties. Maurice Shelton is one of the litigants. He's black and has permanent resident status in Japan, where he's lived for 10 years. We reached him in Kawasaki.
Maurice, what is a typical interaction with police in Japan for you? What kinds of things do they ask you?
They ask me for identification. They ask, where am I going? What is my purpose? And that's kind of a leading question, so they can try to see if I'm committing a crime. But usually I'm just standing around minding my own business.
And sometimes it's traffic related, but you haven't actually committed any traffic offenses.
Yeah, so there's been a few times I've been let go several times while driving. And it's just one of those things where, well, what did I do wrong? Mm-hmm. But they checked my foreign residency card, so it's okay. They did a routine check of the foreigner.
Just to underline for our listeners, what is signaling to you based on these frequent interactions that this is not about traffic and it's really about who you are?
Well, it's the mundane things. If you're just standing around in a crowd of people and then you just happen to be chosen out of thousands and thousands of people in the biggest metropolitan area in the world, it has to cross your mind. Why me? You know, if I hadn't done anything wrong, then why me? And it's not to say that I'm a victim or I'm someone that's being unfairly targeted, but in the occasions where I have committed a traffic infraction, I say, well, okay, I'll take my loss and keep it moving. But in this situation, why did it happen?
Why do you think it's happening?
Well, I think that this is red meat for people that believe that, and I think untruly or inaccurately, that Japan is a very non-diverse place. There are many different types of people with different backgrounds, and myself included, that make up the guts of this country. So many people, when you close your eyes right now, I want the listeners to close their eyes and you think, what does a Japanese person look like? It doesn't look like me, and I understand that. That's fine. I just want to have the ability to be an upstanding contributor to society.
The other plaintiffs that you're with, you're all from different backgrounds.
Yes.
And why do you think people from those backgrounds are being targeted in particular?
Well, all of the plaintiffs are darker skinned people. So the attacks that I've gotten, people would say, well, you're trying to change this country into something it's not. So all of these people, one person has background from Pakistan, another one from India and Fiji. So these people don't represent, in other people's eyes, the face of Japan or what Japan is supposed to represent.
Not that it matters, but people have lived there a long time, have citizenship in one of the cases. But again, it's not based on the paperwork, is what your argument is. And one of your fellow litigants declined to give his full name when speaking to reporters. He says, he was quoted as saying he's afraid of harassment. Did you have any concerns coming forward and being part of this lawsuit?
Yes, indirectly. I had only a couple of concerns. I initially hid my last name, and I won't hide it now, but my partner expressed concern of backlash because of the fact that I am standing up. And usually, if you know your history, those who stand up, usually they come up against a lot of resistance. So I'm not afraid. I want that to be very clear to all the listeners. I'm not afraid of what might happen. I'm only, my fear would be is that I could not make space or not be seen as someone in good faith trying to make space for those who come behind me.
It's not a huge sum that this case is asking for, and you're hinting at this there, the broader implication. But what do you hope ultimately this case does?
It's not about the money. So the money is nominal. We want fair treatment. If we say that we're a rules-based society and we adhere to the law, what the police have done is illegal. So we just want fair and equal treatment under the law. Even if I'm not a citizen, I'm still a resident here. I still should be afforded the protections of the law. So if we're going to go that way, then let's just do it fair across the board.
Do you get the sense that they're ready for a shift, that officials, in any case, I can't speak for Japanese people, but the police you're dealing with, do you sense that a shift could come because of this case?
I think with any reactionary outlet or structure, they have to be brought to heel. So it's not about if they're ready. They have to be made to be ready. So this is just the first step. I know that it will be a long and protracted battle. So there could be a shift because the economic situation now, and the changing demographics of the country. The foreigners are here, they're coming, and they're going to be here to stay. So we have to adjust. You either adjust or you get left in the dustbin of history. So I think it's not about them wanting to be ready. They have to be ready. They're going to have to be made to be ready. So this is part of the preparation for a changing future. One of my favorite groups is Outkast. I have no problem being, I'm from Atlanta, so I have no problem being the black sheep. So if I'm a foreigner, that's fine. Just treat me fairly. Just give me the fair one. That's all. I don't want bullies. I don't want people to think that they can inflict fear on people that can't necessarily defend themselves. So I'm taking that burden on my shoulders to fight back.
Good to speak with you, Maurice.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
You too.
Thanks.
Maurice Shelton is one of 3 people living in Japan who have filed a lawsuit over alleged racial profiling by the police. We reached out to Japan's National Police Service for comment, but we did not receive a reply by the time we went to air.